What'd you think of the
wrestling,
Glover?
Incredible performance by John Jones.
Yeah.
It's smart as shit too. That shoulder wrench that he used in the clinch,
amazing.
I never seen anybody do that before, and everyone's going to start doing it now. I mean, now it's 100% because that comes up all the time.
It's a copycat league.
Mm-hmm.
I was throwing more elbows on Monday.
Sure.
My coach goes, "Listen, I want you putting elbow pads on now."
You know, John's so good at those too. In those tight situations, it doesn't make an advantage or a disadvantage rather to have long arms when he's using elbows. And he has all that torque from his mechanical advantage, or the way his body's framed. Yeah. He's throwing nasty elbows inside the clinch, and it's literally the perfect distance for like full power shots.
That's amazing.
Whereas like if he was punching, you'd have to like get some room in order to punch. But he's landing these elbows inside, and they're just perfect.
What's amazing, what makes John the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now is you would think he was just going to sit on the outside and pick Glover Teixeira apart. Mm-hmm. That was the game plan. And then he goes, I just decided to switch it up, do his game, because we thought, most experts thought it would be inside if it goes inside against the cage, Glover, that's where he wants to be, is going to tear John up. John said, forget this, pins him against the cage and just does work. He did Glover's game plan against him.
Yeah, just like he did Chael's game plan against Chael. You know, it was crazy.
But something I saw you saying something during the fight. Was something wrong with his right hand?
Don't know. Never found out.
He didn't throw any right hands.
Never found out.
He threw an uppercut, but that's it.
He threw a few. He definitely threw a few.
Nothing like normal, right?
He threw a lot of lefts. He threw some nice left hooks too, man. His left hook is
great
sweet.
check left hooks, yes.
Yeah, very nice, real accurate left hooks. But it was the elbows. I agree with you. Up against the cage, that were the most impressive.
My feeling is it's going to always be Gustafsson is going to be number 2 or whatever. They're going to battle that again, and I want to see. I think the number 2 spot is up for grabs between Anthony Rommel Johnson and Glover Teixeira. Those guys have
dude, you can't sleep on Daniel Cormier, man. Do not sleep on Daniel Cormier.
That's true.
I think Cormier beats both those guys.
So true.
Cormier beats both those guys.
Cormier's something special,
I forgot
man.
about him.
You can't fuck with Daniel Cormier. He's something special.
But is he going to be able to deal with John Jones?
Well, we're going to find out. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Cormier is the most marketable guy to fight.
Better wrestler. He'll
more
do
than
Gustafsson.
He's not just Gustafsson for sure.
Yeah,
I'd say probably even. It's a good point.
Close.
But outside the Gustafsson fight's guaranteed. That's the next fight.
Might be,
but outside of that,
that's going to be the next fight. That's going to be the next fight with
John Jones. That for sure. Gustafsson took a big chance too in fighting Jimmy Manuwa. He took a big chance.
Did he though?
Yes, he took a chance. Yeah, I mean he beat him and he won. But Manuwa's no joke. Manuwa's fucking dangerous. He's dangerous. He's very
an
hard.
Explosive fighter. However, it was way too much of a jump for him. Fighting Gustafsson was like, it was kind of like, here, Gustafsson, stay active.
That's super easy to say after the fact. But if Gustafsson came in, he wasn't disciplined, he doesn't mind his P's and Q's.
He wouldn't be where he's at if he wasn't.
You're right, but sometimes guys will slip when they go from a title fight and they drop down. The next fight, they're on the fight card.
Well, but he believed he won the fight. Mm-hmm. He thinks he's the champ. And John says the same thing, too. He goes, Alexander's talking like he won the fight. Yeah. Bro, it was a great fight, but drop it. You lost.
It was a very good fight, but I agree with the decision.
Me too. I agree.
It was the right decision.
I had John 3-2.
Yeah, John pulled it out. He pulled it out. He gutted it out like a champion in the last rounds. But damn, Gustafsson fucking held himself. He held account of himself very well. Took John down.
Seeing Gustafsson after that fight in the hallway, because I went down to the press conference and seeing how beat up he was, and then seeing John. I didn't see John after the fight.
Oh, John came through my locker room.
You did.
He was on a stretcher. His body was trembling. And I just leaned over him. I said, man, that was a hell of a fight, man. I'm so proud of you. I mean, wow. And my coach, Tony Jeffries, he came from boxing, right, Olympic boxer. That's the first UFC event he's ever been to, was cornering me. He's never been to one. He's never watched one on TV. That was his first one. He sees John. He goes, I've never seen anything like that. He goes, I would never do this after seeing that.
That's no joke.
Well, he was pushed to the limit in that fight, man. That was the limit. I mean, they both those guys hit the wall, but John just kept pushing just a little bit more. It was a very close fight, just a little bit more.
I think besides DC and Gustafsson, I don't see anyone challenging John.
I would like to see what happens with Anthony Rumble Johnson, though.
Well, he's going to fight. I think the fight between those two is Glover Teixeira. I'd
Rumble and Glover?
They seem very
similar
styles.
Glover's hurt. Glover's shoulder's fucked
Yeah,
up.
his shoulder's
Really?
messed
He might
up.
have to have surgery. Yeah, it's
boy.
his shoulder's fucked up.
Well,
After
we-
the fight, his arm was straight.
Oh, because he was
wasn't
getting that. He was
moving.
getting like that.
Right away from the
Against the
opening
cage.
first round against the cage.
You
What
could
I was
see
talking
it.
about at the beginning, he doesn't even listen. We were talking about the shoulder wrench, and he was like, "Hey, when do I get to talk?"
Oh no, I thought you were talking about not shoulder runs. I thought you were talking about when he used his shoulder to
No,
hit
no,
him.
no.
It was
Oh.
actually a submission.
You're
Stand
talking about when he
submission.
caught his arm and he yanked it this way.
John grabbed his arm. They tied up, and John grabbed his arm. That's not it either.
Yeah.
I remember
They
that.
tied up. John grabbed his arm
shoulder
and
lock.
he yanked his shoulder up and popped it out. And he fucked his right arm up.
It
pretty
was
bad.
dope, man. It was dope. I love
Yeah.
seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
That's so inspiring, man.
That's what you were talking about earlier. That it's a copycat business, and you're right in a lot of ways.
The NFL is a copycat business. So in the NFL, I'm gonna get nerdy on you here, some football talk. The Tampa 2. So when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the championship with their defense, they had a defense called the Tampa 2, where the middle backer would drop. He's so athletic he would drop back deep into coverage, which was rare. The next year, every team was doing it. Tampa won a championship doing that. The next year, every team had that defense. Well, now the offense have figured it out. No one's doing that anymore. In the UFC, same thing. You see Anthony Pettis using the cage, jumping off of it. We see John Jones throwing elbows. Guess what? I guarantee you I wasn't the only one working elbows on Monday.
Yeah.
Because you see how effective it is, and you're like, okay, I need to add that to my arsenal.
Remember when the front kick to the face started? Everybody started front kicking
Yeah.
to the face.
After-
like before
after,
Anderson, it was pretty rare to see
Super
front
rare.
kicks to the face.
And then he knocks out Vitor Belfort with it, and then we see Lyoto do it to
And
Randy
Travis
Couture.
Brown. Travis Brown knocks out.
Well, Travis Brown
Alistair.
landed 4 on Alistair, and Alistair's like, well, what should I do here? And bam, knocked him out again. That was ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, so it's a copycat league.
yeah.
So
wheel kicks.
wheel
was another
kicks,
one.
everything, man.
Regrets
And-
John
and
Jones
we're-
for a shoulder crack. Yeah, Joe.
Nah, that's tough, man.
Of course he regrets it.
Regrets it, yeah. Don't let a guy
Ripped his shoulder
rip your
apart.
shoulder
God, that
apart.
was. I
Probably had
remember
no
that.
idea that was going to happen. Didn't think about that.
I'll tell you
being a
what was interesting
possibility.
about this fight. When you guys were calling it, and I'm not taking shots here, but while you guys were calling it Goldberg, it was every second was Chuck Liddell. I'd love to see what Chuck Liddell was saying here. Chuck Liddell.
Did he
Man,
say that?
I
A
wonder
lot.
if Chuck Liddell, how he feels about this fight right now. Chuck Liddell thinks Chuck Liddell co-signed on Chuck Liddell. I was like, damn it, Chuck Liddell's not fighting right now.
Did he really say a lot of that?
He said a lot of Chuck Liddells.
Did I say any Chucks?
I don't think you did. I'm proud of you.
Didn't
Thank
hear
you.
Proud of you, man.
Well, Goldberg, he has notes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he wanted to talk about.
Well, listen, Chuck's one of the most famous fighters of all time. I
For a
get
lot
it.
of people that don't know anything about Glover, that was like an important point, I guess, to talk about, though.
Well,
For folks who didn't know anything. But yeah, I agree with you.
I agree. You're associating Chuck Liddell with Glover.
Yeah,
Glover's
yeah.
like the new age Chuck Liddell, I guess. And then when he picks them apart, and John's done great. I'm proud of John for this because he's done great answering his critics. If you've seen some of his Instagram posts, they're classic.
Yeah.
Like Phil Davis talking all that smack. Let's talk about Phil for a second.
Yeah.
So Dana White says to Phil, if for those of the listeners that don't know, and probably Brian as well, Phil Davis
I heard.
wants a title shot, and Dana comes out like, "Bro, you just don't seem like you want
You're
it.
fourth
You don't
place."
call anyone out. You're these rankings, these bullshit rankings, you got to make your way. You got to show me you want it." So Phil's not the best shit talker in the world, and he starts doing it. He did it so much, like when they had the press conference, he was talking shit to John, not even acknowledging Anthony Rumble Johnson. So he's taking a page out of Dana's book, trying to get this big title fight. He goes out, and if you watch the fights, gets mollywopped by Anthony Johnson. Not even a fight. And now, I mean, the criticism he's getting is ridiculous. But big risk comes, big reward. What can you do?
So John Jones puts a video up of him watching Phil Davis fight, and then him staring
Blank
at
stare.
the camera, just going like this.
It was classic.
I
It
gotta
was
see
classic.
Pull it up.
Oh, that's so
Pull it up.
funny.
It was classic.
That's. Oh no.
I get what Phil's trying to do, though, man. 'Cause
Yeah,
let's
he's
say
trying to
he
drum
goes
up
out.
some interest.
Let's say he goes out and dominates Anthony Johnson, gets a quick knockout. He has a chance that they put him in next in line.
Yeah, if he dominated Anthony Johnson, but Anthony Johnson's a fucking scary fight for a guy.
At 205, he's scary.
scary
At
fight for a
185,
guy.
170, not that scary.
can't believe
he
he
would
sucked that
he would
much weight.
deplete himself too much. He's a poster boy for the point of diminishing returns. When you depleted yourself so much, you have no energy left.
But I say this all the time. How does someone not say, "Hey, Anthony, you're 240 pounds. You think fighting at 170 is smart, bro?"
Come on, man, you can answer that yourself. How many times have you said on this podcast, I wish someone would have just told me.
That's what I'm saying. How come someone doesn't come around and talk to us?
Doesn't happen.
When you ask for Big Nog in Brazil, it's like your third fight.
They wanted to give me that fight in Denver. I said, no, let's do it in Brazil. How about that?
Oh my God!
Great decision making.
Somebody
Schaub.
should sit Schaub down.
And do you understand jet lag? Do you know about jet lag? Do you know about flying in planes?
Yeah, fuck that noise.
It's like taking 7 X-rays.
Not good, man. Not
a couple
good.
of days before you fight.
Not good.
It's a long flight.
And you had to hang
man.
out in the stadium for like 10 hours.
Oh,
right?
because the traffic in Rio.
Watch this. Here's the fight.
Oh no,
This is his Instagram video.
Anthony.
Classic.
I'm blinking.
But the thing is, Phil deserves it. I love Phil.
Well, it's
Phil's
part
one
of
of my
game.
favorite people in the business.
I love Phil too, but it's
part
part
of
of
the
the
game.
game. He was trying to play the game. He was trying to get people
You
to
can't
pay
be mad at
attention
him.
to No, I'm not. I love Phil. I think that what he was trying to do is get people to pay attention, and it's part
It
of
just
the
backfires.
business.
Sometimes it backfires.
That was a tough fight. He should have been. I think that
Bad
people,
matchup.
They also look for you to fail when you start doing something like that. So if you're doing it before you even won your fight, like the point of return on getting it will be less than it would be if you start talking shit after you won. Like if you're talking shit about getting another fight when you have a fight coming up against a guy who's the favorite against you,
Right.
A guy's a fucking dangerous guy. With a lot of people, I don't know what the actual
Anthony
Vegas
Johnson
odds were.
was the underdog.
Not to me. I
Well,
didn't
no,
think he was
not
an
to the
underdog.
people
Oh,
who
you
know what
didn't
the
think so?
hell's going on.
Anthony hits too hard.
In
He's too
the
scary.
but the top 15 from 1 to 15, 15 can be a horrible matchup for number 1. It's about styles and it's about matchups.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Phil Davis, there cannot be a worse matchup from than Anthony Johnson.
Johnson's
the guy beat
takedown
Lyoto
defense.
Machida. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Granted,
Well,
some don't think he won that
I
fight.
don't think he won that fight.
It's close though. He didn't get dominated like he
No.
did against Anthony Johnson.
No, you're absolutely right. It was a big difference between the Machida
He's a bigger
fight.
underdog.
Yeah, the Machida fight, it was close fight. That was a close fight. I
thought
just
Machida won.
What do you
won.
think it was about? Was just Rumble just too?
He's a monster.
He's just too much of a monster.
He's a monster. And
Yeah.
Rumble's a scary guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's
Rumble
too big,
fucked
he's
up
too strong.
Arlovski at heavyweight.
God, it's so crazy.
He almost stopped him in the first round. He broke his jaw in half in the first round. Like Arlovski fought the last 2 rounds with a jaw that was shifting up and down because it was shattered in the side.
Somebody's fighting Arlovski. Somebody's got some good stories.
When we talk about how guys are hyping fights, it can backfire. Like,
Yeah.
with the Mitrione fight, me and Matt, we're buddies. We can both talk a little smack. So it was good to hype the fight talking smack.
Right.
It was great. When you fight legends like Mirko Krokop, Andrei Arlovski, Big Nog, with Arlovski, fans are hitting me up on Twitter like, I can't wait to see what your smack talk is. There's no smack talk. I don't need to talk smack to Andrei Arlovski to hype this fight. He's a legend. You're not going to win any fans over. What are you going to say?
Right. Yeah.
What are you going to say? Oh, man, you fought the very best fighters in the world. You're a heavyweight champ. What are you going to do?
You gotta be super respectful.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, they fucking attack like wolves.
Like wolves.
The fight sells itself. But
Tell him the story about how you were training with Arlovski after training, where he goes, "Come here."
Yeah. So Andrei Arlovski and I used to train together at Jackson's camp. And when I was getting ready for a fight, this is over almost 4 years ago, the 2 fighters that when I first got into the game that I admired and loved were Mirko Krokop and Andrei Arlovski. My 2 very favorites. That's who I wanted to be like. So I walked in the gym, and it was Arlovski's first day at Jackson's too. And, when you're seeing a guy on TV fighting all the time, then you run into him, you're like, damn, all right. So I see him like, oh, shit, there's Andrei Arlovski. So they're like, all right, Schaub, Arlovski, you're in the ring. It's first day sparring, right? Fresh off the plane, I'm sparring with him. So me and him are going, and it's a close round. He's a badass, right? Me and him are going back and forth. People would literally stop and watch us spar. Just these dog rounds back and forth, 5 rounds in a row. Then later that night, we grapple. And then the next morning, I drink coffee every morning, right? Drinking coffee, and I have this horrible coffee breath. Breath smelled like pure coffee shit breath, right? And I go up to Andre, and he's not a very warm person at all. Not at all. It's that very Belarus Russian where it's going to take a while to be his friend, I can tell. And I'm trying to break these barriers, man. I go, hey, bro, I just want to let you know, man, I got that coffee breath. And he didn't say a word to me the night before training. He goes, it's okay. It's okay. Much better than yesterday. Yesterday, shit. I go, what? He goes, yesterday breath smelled like shit. I go, oh, cool, man. Cool. And then just went about our business. That was really the only words he ever said to me, man. And we trained together for a while.
It wasn't even like friendly. What about when you were kicking, when he had you kick his body?
Yeah, and then we get done training. I've never done this. He goes, I'm trying to do my best Russian accent. You guys are probably much
terrible
better.
Russian accent.
Horrible, right? Well,
okay.
sorry, I'm not from Russia.
Bring the buckle.
He goes, put your hands on top of your head like this. I'm like, what are we doing, man? We just got done sparring. I'm exhausted.
Right.
I put my hands up, and he just goes, brace yourself, and starts wailing at my body.
What?
With kicks, punches, wailing. Does this make you tough? I'm like, okay. And I'm like, ow. I'm trying to be tough, though, because he's my hero. I'm like, oh, okay. Ow, ow. And then he goes, my turn. You do it to me. And I'm like doing it. He goes, no, you hit like girl. Hit. And I'm fucking trying, man, trying to hurt this guy. Nothing. And that was my experience with Andrei Arlovski.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man.
And now you got to fight him 4 years. 4 years.
Now I got to fight him. How I was sitting on the beach, and I get a call from Lex McMahon, my manager. He goes, bro, and whenever he calls me multiple times, because I rarely answer, whenever he calls me multiple times, you know you got to fight. He calls, I'm like, yeah, whatever, ignore. Calls again, ignore. I'm like, oh, shit, we got something. Answer, I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, amigo, we got to fight. I'm like, yeah? I'm like, what? Hunt finally freaking saddled up and signed the contract? He goes, nope. He used to be your hero. I go, get the fuck out of here. I knew right away. I go, they re-signed Andrei Arlovski? He goes, yep. And done. I was like, done. When is it? He was 7 weeks. Cool. Let's do it. Vancouver, June 14th. UFC 174. Going down.
Dum, dum, dum.
Dan, dan, dan.
Shit gets real. Left the beach, straight to the gym.
So today we just decided
Slept
that Brian
like shit
Callen,
last night.
Brian Callen's going to join me on those dates so that he could be there with his boyfriend.
The kid's
Yes,
coming
I
to
am.
town.
So my date in Vancouver and Lloydminster, both of those, Brian Callen and Tony Hinchcliffe's coming too.
I'm
Gonna
excited.
have some fun.
Oh, by the way, I'll be at the Caluso Casino tomorrow, and then I'll be
Where's
in
that?
Edmonton and Toronto this month. Go to BrianCallen.com.
Powerful Brian Callen.
Yucks.
How many
Toronto.
fighters in the kid are you guys doing a week?
Just one.
Do one a week.
When are you going to break free from the teat of big business?
Very soon, Joe Rogan. Very soon.
We're killing it, man. It's doing well over there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good podcast.
We're trying.
It's fun.
It's fun.
What did you think about the rest of the card? The rest of the UFC card?
I thought Joey Benavidez looked great.
Fuck yeah.
I haven't seen a guy tap with his feet like that.
Yeah, me
it was
never.
dope, right?
In all the years of the UFC, I don't think there was another time where a guy
smart.
tapped with his feet like that. From a mounted
The Joe Constrictor.
guillotine.
The
Yeah.
Joe Constrictor.
Joe Constrictor.
That thing was tight.
It was nasty.
Super tight.
Full mount with both arms trapped inside and a guillotine. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild technique.
I'll tell you who I came away probably besides John Jones. Obviously, he just destroyed Glover. But the guy who looked the best to me was Luke Rockhold.
Yeah,
That guy's a dime piece, too,
He looked
by the
real
way.
good.
He's a stud.
Handsome dude.
handsome bastard.
Yeah,
Super
I got him
beautiful.
over you, and I apologize.
Hard to believe that he really weighs $185. Like when you stand
I
next to him,
agree.
he's
He's
tall, right? He's like
He's not
6
just tall.
He's
not a-
shredded,
He's not a
too.
scrawny guy.
No,
man.
he's not like a thin 185er.
Yeah, I
at
mean,
all.
you could see him eventually deciding that he doesn't want to make that weight anymore and going up to 205. Because I don't know how old he is. How old is he? He's less than 30, right?
No,
I think he's in his
like
30s.
31.
Is he really? This fucking guy's
He's a
good.
surfer.
Was a surfer who
Good
just came to
jiu-jitsu.
AKA and was like, "Let's do this." That reverse triangle was dope. I thought he was going to go for the arm earlier though.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know what he was doing.
He was patient. He didn't want to lose a position, but he also
I didn't think he was going to lose it though.
He's 29. He did a really good job of making sure that he got the side up, got him on his side, didn't
Yep.
let him flatten out.
Yep.
Guys will try to flatten out, try to protect the Kimura, and he made sure he got him yanked up to his side. That triangle's nasty too.
That triangle's nasty. It's tough to finish from there.
He's really hard.
It's very tough
It's
to
very
finish.
hard to finish with the triangle itself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The triangle to finish that reverse triangle like that's very tough.
Braulio
so
Estima
usually he's known
catches
for it.
it,
Braulio
yeah.
Estima was nasty with it.
Yeah,
Have
he-
you ever rolled with him?
No, I've not.
Monster.
Yeah, I would
catches
imagine
everyone
so.
in it.
You've rolled
It's-
with him?
He's
Yeah.
got a very
Monster.
weird style, that duck under style of
Yes.
attacking that inverted triangle. He's got, he has an artificial disc in his neck.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's Benavidez. Look how dope
That's
that
a
is.
joke.
Oh my
Both
God.
hands trapped in, arching his back.
God.
It's like a
I'm so
guard
happy
from the
for him
mount.
too, man.
That guard, like that, a lot of guys are doing their guard like
That's
that
a
now. Or excuse me,
crazy.
their
That's
mount.
such a
Their
crazy.
mount.
Their mount, they're crossing their feet under like a guard.
A
and if you-
grapevine.
Yeah, but under the body,
Yeah.
under the actual body. And if you have like a really good, strong, tight guard, and you do that from the mount, boy, you fucking sap the will out of a guy
I
because you
agree.
take away a lot of breath. when you really clamp down on them like that, it's very hard for them to breathe.
And a lot of guys freak out when you get in a mount. They
Especially
freak
that
out.
mount.
Yes.
Like that's like you look at Benavidez, how much arc he's putting in there and how
lot
much
of
torque.
torque.
That's a expert black belt mount. He's a beast. And then you see other guys' mounts where they're like kind of sloppy,
Very
and
loose.
very loose. There's no pressure. Benavidez is just crunching. It's a perfect name, the Joa Constrictor. It's a perfect name.
I love that.
He's a great guy too.
One of the
He's a
best, man. He can
great
dress,
guy.
too.
He's
He
cool.
can dress, yeah.
He's funny. He's a good dude. Yeah, it was interesting watching that. So we saw good jiu-jitsu technique, and then Jim Miller caught Yancy Medeiros in that the guillotine and put him to sleep, and then was celebrating while he was underneath him. First time ever. Guy's on top of you, unconscious, and Miller was
Let's
celebrating.
go, ref. Get him off, man.
Crazy.
Jim Miller's jiu-jitsu is ridiculous.
Fuck yeah, it is. You see him
Ridiculous.
submit Fabricio Camoins
Yes.
with an armbar from the guard?
Yeah.
Dude,
High level. Super
high
high
level.
level.
Slipped it in there like a glove. And he was like, what? I can't believe this. You could see, like, when the armbar was locked up, the look in Camoins' face, like, he's a Hoyler Gracie black belt. So he's like, I can't believe I'm getting submitted by an American. Oh, you motherfucker.
That kid Silva, John Silva, I think, who knocked out
Eric Silva, you talking about?
Eric Silva. Who
Oh, he's a
knocked out.
beast.
Yeah, he's a.
But have you ever seen Dong Young Kim knock him out?
Yes.
Oof.
Dong Young Kim
Yes.
fucked
That's a
him
bad-
up, man.
Yep.
Woo! Kim is a beast,
Yes,
man.
he is.
That
Stun
guy's
gun.
aggressive.
Well, he's still young. He comes out of Black House, but it seems like he's got all the talent in the world, and that because he rushed. I think he just got
Who, Eric? No, he didn't. He's been tested by Fitch. Fitch beat him in a decision. He's been in there with some really good guys.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of potential, and he's definitely getting
Absolutely.
better. But
There's no
you can't
easy
take
fights
anything
at
away
that
from
weight
him.
No,
class.
it's just younger.
Everyone's a black belt in that. Like I say, at 155, 170, 145, you're basically a black belt in everything. If
Everything.
you lack in anything else, you're going to get exposed.
It's so competitive
The
there.
top 20, you're going to get exposed right
How about
away.
Thiago Alves? Thiago Alves is back.
Yeah, man.
Came out guns blazing. Took 2 years off. Looked like he never missed a step.
Leg kicks with Seth.
Oh, and beautiful technique
I
too.
held a pad for Thiago when he was kicking, showing me how to kick, and I held a pad, and he just kind of laid in with some kicks, like some low kicks to the legs, and I was shocked. It was shocking. It was shocking how strong his leg kicks
The
were.
strong is all that good, but it's great. But his technique is what's so beautiful.
His
He
technique's
throws that straight right leg kick and that left hook right leg kick,
Yeah.
and it's fucking devastating. His timing is so perfect. He rarely gets checked. If you watch like the amount of guys that get their legs kicked checked versus the amount of times that guys land them, there's some guys that are just uncanny at landing them and not getting checked. Thiago's one of the best.
Aldo's
Aldo's fantastic
Might
at
be
it.
the best.
Barao is fantastic
Barao,
at it.
yeah.
Barao's
fucks
amazing.
guys. Barao can fuck you up with anything.
So
he can
weird.
fuck you up with a long punch, fuck you up with
What's
a knee.
his background? Did he?
People don't realize Barao is our Floyd Mayweather. Mm-hmm. The guy hasn't lost in forever.
He hasn't
But he does
And
have one loss.
He
so he's not
does.
the Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather is undefeated.
Still in MMA
Undisputed.
though, but in MMA to have one
Right.
loss out of
Pretty impressive.
30, it's
What is
crazy.
Barao? What is
135,
Barao's background? No,
135.
I know, but what is his background as far as like? Because
He's a Nova Union guy. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt who got into MMA.
He trained
really
with
good
Jose-
Muay Thai.
Jose Aldo.
His jiu-jitsu is world class. His fucking striking is
the
fantastic.
striking is so good. That's like it's the same. He trains with Aldo, so it helps to have.
Oh fuck yeah!
You know, it's kind of like
fighting
Cormier's
soon.
training partner is Cain Velasquez. That's
You know
kind
he's
of a good
fighting
person to
T.J.
have.
Dillashaw. T.J.
Yeah.
Dillashaw and him are fighting in May. Very
An alpha male.
interesting.
What do you
fight.
think of that fight?
T.J. Dillashaw is a tough kid. He's a really good athlete. He's a really good fighter. This is a big step up, a giant step up. I mean, I think he's improved without a doubt over the last couple of years.
Barao is
but we're gonna have to
It's a lot
find.
to chew off.
It's a lot to chew off. Barao's no joke. He might be the best. It's like there's 4 guys that are in contention for being the best, and number 1 is John Jones. In my opinion, the way he shuts guys down, everybody except Gustafsson. The Gustafsson fight was,
Right.
and I think Gustafsson's fucking fantastic. I think I don't think there's any slight on John because the Gustafsson fight was close. I think it's just because Gustafsson's that good. But if you see what he did to Glover, see what he did to Rampage, you see what he did to Machida. Who else
Vitor.
does? Who
I mean, he just
Vitor
dominated.
Who else get? I mean, he got also caught by an armbar in the Vitor fight. Let his arm hyperextend and still won the fight.
That was so nuts.
He got his arm was bent.
He had his
backwards.
whole body. I mean, that was the craziest armbar I've ever. I mean,
It was nasty. It was a nasty, beautiful, perfect armbar, and John still didn't tap.
So nuts.
A lot of guys would have tapped. His arm was pretty fucked for a long time after
Was
that
it?
fight.
Makes
yeah, and then he
sense.
fucked up his toe when he fought Chael Sonnen, snapped
so
that
scary.
bitch and rolled it
That's
over.
right.
Yeah, I mean, if he didn't stop Chael in that first round, that fight was over. His toe was useless. His bone was sticking out. It was twisted around in a circle. was all dislocated and turned the wrong way. It was fucked
John's
up,
a
man.
beast. John's a beast.
He's an animal.
He's the best we have.
There's
right
Aldo. Is Aldo going to go up to 55?
He's gonna. I think he's gonna have to. I honestly think that holds Aldo back. I think it's like
Because
a
he
Rumble
can't-
Johnson
'cause
type
sucking
thing.
weight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a Rumble Johnson type thing. We were talking about that.
What
but-
else is for him at 45 though?
Well, there's a lot of guys. Cub Swanson for one. He's got the title though.
He's already
That's the
beat
big
Cub.
thing. It doesn't matter. He beat Cub with one knee, one flying knee back in the WEC days. And
I'm
Cub's
just
a
saying.
beast.
Yeah,
Cub's a beast.
Cub's the most talented guy I've ever seen in the training room.
I think
Really?
Cub is a
Hands
real
down.
threat. I think Cub's a
I've
real
never
threat.
seen anything like it.
Really?
Literally a real life ninja.
Really?
He was sparring, and I was just like, it's rare I stop and watch guys and amazed. And I was watching him just like, dang.
Just because his ability to come in and out, he's kind of like
got
Anderson
awesome-
Silva.
The
awesome
creativity,
balance.
the creativity he had was like nothing I've ever seen.
Wow.
And he hasn't even unleashed all of it yet.
Yeah.
He's still not to that level.
Yeah.
Wait till he unleashes it.
How old is he?
However,
He's
for
young,
Aldo,
too.
I think there's bigger matchups at 55.
I think you're right, and I think that he would probably be better served physically at 55. I think it's really hard for him to make that weight. So, like, you see the Aldo will come out guns blazing in the first few rounds, but then he realizes he's not going to get a guy out of there. If he thinks he might not be able to get a guy out of there, he's just going to beat him up. Well, he'll start to coast. And I think the reason why he does that most likely is because of the fact that he's cutting down from a lot of weight. He's probably walking around over 170, and he's getting down to 145.
It's crazy.
And he's a lean guy, you know? I mean, I don't know his exact walking around weight. I would
Well,
estimate
he's not
it.
tall. He's pretty.
He's a
He's
thick
5'7",
kid,
I
though.
think.
No fat
5'8".
on him.
No, he's very,
Not an ounce
very,
of fat on
very
him.
muscular. But he's so goddamn good. His left hook, right leg kick is
So
one of the
good.
smoothest and quickest. in
Who,
the
who
business.
gives him the who does he have the most trouble with in 55? Cerrone or
No,
No.
I mean, he's got some great fights. Who knows who's going to have a hard time with it at 55? 55 would be amazing.
We'd
So
have
he's
to
got-
see him fight at 55.
He still has a possible rematch with Chad Mendez at 45. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
For Aldo, though, it's like, why do that? What's it do for you?
Money. That's it.
I agree, but all right, so then you're going to go super fights. You want to make real money, you go super fights.
55?
Yeah, 55. Him and Pettis was
Him
being
and Pettis
bandied
were
about.
supposed to, it was supposed to
Yeah.
happen, right?
But Pettis has had some injuries. He's had some injuries. I mean, these guys get banged up. Pettis just had knee surgery, so it's going to be a while before he gets back.
I'll tell you what is going to be huge for the UFC and just for heavyweights in general is Cain Velasquez versus Fabricio Verdum in Mexico, son.
Shit.
That's going to be crazy.
Mexico.
By the way, Fabricio Verdum speaks perfect Spanish. Perfect.
Literally, the UFC, it couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah.
Cain versus Fabricio.
Yeah.
Fabricio speaks better Spanish than Cain.
Yeah, how
It's
crazy is
ridiculous. So they're fighting in Mexico, and they have these two as the tough coaches. I mean,
Wow.
literally picture
Yeah.
perfect
Sick.
for the UFC.
Yeah, and dude, how good did Fabricio look against Travis
Amazing.
Brown? That was amazing. His double jab.
Double jabs, triple
It
jabs.
was so inspiring, man.
Snapping
It's
that
so
jab
inspiring.
in there.
He looked
and
great.
bowing and
Yeah.
punching and looking the other way and matching kick for kick. And
How
weird.
about when he kipped up to his feet and then kicked him in the body?
Unbelievable.
And he was
That
on
was
his
dirty.
back trying to get him to come to his guard.
Amazing.
and then
He's
just
no.
like matrix it up.
Yeah, he kips up and then
Gangster.
throws the body kick.
Confidence, and by the way, to come back after all that time and be that confident and,
Yeah.
and to be looking like you're having fun and just
And to go through a
talking to
fucking
him.
dangerous moment in that first round.
Yeah.
That first round was
Yeah.
super dangerous.
Travis Brown
Travis-
might be one of the most dangerous
What,
fighters
was
in
he
the world in
talking
the
to
first
him,
round.
Joe? You were there. Was he talking
Yes.
to him?
He was taunting him. Yeah.
What was he saying?
He's telling him, "You're cut. You're cut. You know you're cut. You know you're cut. It's open. That's open."
Is that what he say to him?
Yeah, and then he pop him again with a jab. He
Really?
was telling him that he was cut, and he was kicking his legs and kicking his body.
What-
He wasn't kicking his legs too much, actually. Now I think about
think
it. A lot
that's
of it was
smart.
body.
Most of
What,
his
what are
body.
they saying about Yoel Romero, who looks so amazing?
He's a freak, man.
He's a freak.
He's another one that's a real challenge
Yeah.
at 185.
Only got to beat Cael Sanderson twice.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's incredible.
yeah.
And
He's a world champion.
the way he
two-time world champion.
throws dudes around, it's just like,
He started using his wrestling finally.
yeah. Geez.
Well,
'Cause
in
before
Europe,
he wasn't.
in Europe
Before he
and
wasn't.
in Cuba and Europe and stuff, the reason that like international wrestlers a lot of times beat Americans are freestyle collegiate wrestlers, and in Europe they start more from the clinch. They do a lot of Greco, so their clinch is way better.
Mm-hmm.
So when you fight internationally like that, when you wrestle internationally, it's very different. So you tie it with a guy like Yoel Romero. Good luck dealing with that Greco. Good luck dealing with those throws.
Yeah, but it's not just that. The other thing
No.
about that guy is his striking.
Ugh.
He hits you
Knocks you
coming
out.
in. He's so
Pure
damn
power.
fast.
It's ridiculous. And
Is
he hasn't
that
been striking
elbow-
that long. I mean, that's a
Can
new
I
thing
please
for him.
see him and Hector Lombard fight each other?
They train together. They
well,
train
they're
together.
different weight
Guess-
classes. Yoel's been fighting 85, and Lombard is way better at
He
170.
just cut at 70, yes.
Yeah, I like him at
Another
I like,
guy looked great.
Oh, Lombard, dude, his judo is ridiculous. Those fucking throws that he had Jake
Those
Shields
hips.
with. Nobody ever ragdolls Jake Shields like that.
Never.
Never.
Jake's a pro, yeah.
You never see that. That's
You-
just what a freak that Hector Lombard is.
Who are
But
they gonna
Yoel
put-
Romero's a freak
Who
too.
are they going to put
both of them.
Yoel with?
Well, Brad Tavares is legit. You know, Brad
He's
Tavares
tough.
is a very tough kid.
That was the test,
He's a dangerous striker. And, you know, the Derek Brunson fight, Derek Brunson head kicked Yoel Romero.
And took him down.
Yeah.
Twice.
But he head kicked him like picture perfect,
Right.
and Yoel ate it like it was a piece of toast with butter on it.
So
It was
crazy.
nothing. It was just thunk, still bouncing around like nothing had happened.
He looks like a superhero. Like his body's so
He
ridiculous.
moves like when he covers distance. You're like, what the fuck,
Just
man?
a ball of
What is
fast
he,
twitch muscle.
36?
Yeah.
Yeah,
36.
he's not young. I believe he's 36.
Doesn't
years
look
old.
like he's slowed down at all. Doesn't look
37. Actually,
doesn't look
37.
like it means anything.
Yeah, he
I
looks
bet you it
great.
does, though. I bet you it does. I
What,
bet you
in
in
recovery,
the
you mean, or
I bet recovery. I bet he can't train as long. I bet to him.
Look at that.
It's like, good Lord.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, can he go
he's
win the
literally
Olympia
a
right now?
superhero.
That's Thiago Alves, bro.
That is
That's not what
Tiago.
it says. Well, I'm not going to
No.
say you're wrong.
Is that
that's
Yoel
Yoel.
Romero?
That's not
That's
Thiago.
Romero.
That's Yoel.
That's Romero back in the day.
That looks like Thiago. It looks like he's got a belt on too. Like he's wearing like work shorts.
It looks like he's wearing.
just made for war, made to war. Look
Yeah,
at
I
that.
guess
That's
is
him.
Yoel.
That's him for
It's
sure.
just, he's got a
war.
weird look in his face. Look, he looks like Thiago, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he does.
He does.
Let's find another picture of him where you can actually see what he looks like. But
Look
he's
at that ridiculous
unbelievably athletic.
I
guy.
think
Never
with a
work
guy like that at 36, and I've talked to some other guys who are a little older. I'm
There
not
he
going
is.
to mention names.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord.
He looks like
Jesus
I mean, come on.
Good Lord.
If you he looks he's more muscular than the Wolverine
Yeah, in the cartoons.
in the cartoons, bro.
He looks like a cartoon.
That barely looks like a real guy.
But for guys at 36 and have that background, and I'm sure there's injuries we don't know about, there's a timing sensitivity with him. You know what I'm saying? Like
They don't have
he's
10
not
more
going to
years.
lose 2 in a row and be like, "Well, got to get back on the horse. Let's do this."
Right.
Nah, man. He's going there. He wants to get those big fights.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. And not only that, like stylistically, think about matching him up with Chris Weidman. I mean, Weidman
about
is known
matchups.
for his striking, and Weidman's known for his wrestling.
I think
You know,
he's gonna beat
he's known
Weidman.
for both. But who wants to wrestle that guy?
Nobody.
Who wants to strike with that guy?
Well, I'll tell you what's tough. I think this is where Weidman's going to have an advantage. If Weidman mixes it up and drags him into later rounds.
Maybe. I don't know, dude.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. That's your only
Maybe.
hope. That's
Yeah.
your only hope. We don't know.
He controls
Look at his
fights.
shoulder.
He controls fights so well that you know, like people say that he gets tired, but the thing is, he's just so relaxed in there. And when he
Everyone
takes
gets tired.
advantage of anybody moving a certain way, well, he explodes so much.
Yeah.
And any of those
A lot
guys
of
that
explosive,
explode
yes.
that much, those guys get tired quicker than a guy like Nick Diaz, who just keeps going at the
True.
same pace. Those guys wear out. And being worn out in the middle of the octagon against a scary guy is a terrifying place to be.
Yeah.
So everybody keeps pushing. He's tired. He's getting tired. He's getting tired. Like that's what when he was fighting this past weekend. Brad Tavares' corner. Ray Cefa was telling him that the guy's tired. He's tired. He's tired. He's tired. He wasn't.
He really wasn't that tired. Yeah, he didn't
Wasn't
look that tired.
Because
But that's
he
what.
controlled
But what else are you
everything.
going to say if
Yeah,
you're the
you can't-
corner?
can't
So you
say
got
anything.
you got to bank. You got to bank on that.
You got to say you got to knock this motherfucker out. Like
I agree.
avoid him at all costs, and then sneak attack with
Good
crazy
luck.
shit.
Good
but
luck.
the reality of the situation is not good. Okay, let's throw out the window any sort
That's
of
why- that's why
technical
it's gonna-
fighting.
It's not looking good.
That's why I couldn't be a
I'm
coach.
out of options.
Damn, son, this fool is
Yeah.
tough. I
would
don't know.
say,
I
Go
don't
on
know what the fuck
full
we're gonna do.
defensive mode. This is what you're gonna do: full defensive mode, and then occasionally sniper attack, and then run away. But other than that, I want you running.
Always
you
run.
running, dog?
Keep running.
We have more fight in us.
Let
Yeah.
them disqualify you. Yeah, I
Jump
want them to
out of the
forget
cage.
about Caleb Starnes. I don't even want them to remember Caleb Starnes after your performance tonight. Stay alive, son. There's always the World Series of Fighting. Move! Get on your fucking heels. You ever heard of Bellator? They're interested in you. Run!
The reality.
Run!
Can you imagine that?
The
the
RFA
reality
wants you
of-
to be their champion. Run!
That's the reality of the business, right? I mean, when you're
No,
outclassed physically,
no, it's
when you're
not.
outclassed physically that way, and it's the second round, and you're out of options.
Okay, it's not for this guy.
No,
because
not
this
you.
guy is championship aspirations.
Right.
But if you're a regular guy that has no shot, if you're one of those mid-level guys that has no
what I
shot
mean.
ever, there's a certain point in time someone has to pull you aside and go, "You're still a postman. You always have that."
You're not going to beat Yoel Romero. You're not going to beat a two-time world champion. You're not going to beat Yoel Romero.
It's so fucked up.
Just run.
He goes back to the corner. Yo, son, reality check. Listen, this guy's so much better. I think what we should do is I'm gonna call Bellator as soon as we get to the locker room.
Faint.
This
Just
is what you
faint.
want you to do. You're going to make up a story about being injured, and then you're going to run. Just run. And while you're running, I want you to think about what you're going to say afterwards in the post-fight interview that's going to make people forgive you for running.
Slip
Make that shit entertaining, dog.
Slip and just hit your head and faint.
Obviously, we're joking, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get upset, and don't quote this for any fucking... Look at that. Boom! Oh, God.
That's ridiculous.
He's a beast, dude. He's a beast. And this is just his striking. Look at that right hand or left hand. And that's just his striking.
God. His
wrestling, the way he ragdolled Tavares, that was even more impressive. His wrestling is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and this is the first fight that he used it in.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't really seen his wrestling because I bet when he goes to the gym, it's all striking because he's done wrestling so much it's second nature. It's like Ronda. She's not doing a ton of judo and a gi.
Right.
None.
But when he
It's
does,
second nature.
he's going with a high level judoka like
Lombard.
Lombard. So
yeah, they train together.
They
Or
train
Tyron
together.
Woodley, he's down there too.
Right.
There's a lot of really fucking strong guys. Look how fucking fast he is.
That's the 37-year-old.
Look at that beautiful fucking
Suplex,
takedown. Oh my god.
That's all that Greco stuff.
He's going to get a big, tough fight next. I
Look
guarantee
at that
it.
elbow.
Oh
Boom.
my god.
Well,
He's going to get a big name next.
dude, he's easy to sell. He's a goddamn silver medalist and one of the most decorated wrestlers.
And a
ever.
nice guy.
And
And
a
a
very
super
nice
nice guy.
He beat
Very
Callen.
nice guy.
Nobody's ever beaten Callen like that twice.
He's a beast. And he's just, he's interesting too because he's super relaxed when he fights too. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's rare.
relax, calm, explode, calm.
Yeah.
He's been involved in high level competition for so long that he just knows the proper mindset for winning.
So
that's
gangster.
what Cormier has too,
Cormier's
man.
the same, yeah.
Cormier has that same thing, man.
I feel bad about myself.
When you see Cormier,
Right now, just watching Yoel Romero, I feel bad about myself.
you should. You're becoming Ian McClellan. We've already established this. You're slowly.
I'm losing my
Silver
hair.
dance.
I'm
You're
getting
gonna
all my
start-
face is more narrow. My nose is getting bigger. I used to be cute.
Next podcast, he's going to show up with a scarf on. We're going to be like, "What are you doing?"
Scarf
You
is
know I
classic.
want to be that guy.
I love the theater. And this reminds me of the theater.
A tweed jacket, and you'll like a small English accent. You will be like, "Is Brian have like?" I'll be like, "I'm having a wonderful time with you guys." I have to say.
It would be really subtle. It would be like, I must tell you, the Fighter and the Kid podcast. It'd be like, what's going on with his voice? Just real subtle. It's just an extraordinarily good time.
I'll drop
Thank
some
you
things.
kindly.
You know, we summer in Cape Cod now, and
would-
we had a wonderful time.
it would go from the current Callen accent to like just weird neutral sound, and then it would slowly morph as
Slowly
time went
morph.
on. You know,
I'll end my sentences with
Henry
yes.
Miller once said,
Is that that's stevia? Yes.
yes, Stevia.
Is that coffee? Yes.
It comes from a plant. It's an extract.
Of course.
I'll tell you what.
I spent a great deal of time in the Amazon. Great people, wonderful people down there.
What
Yeah,
makes
simple,
what makes
but
or breaks
complex.
fights for me, like the Verdum fight, most fights, it depends who I watch it with. I don't know. Well, obviously you're always
yeah.
freaking commentating
I'm
them,
too busy.
but also,
I'd love to watch fights with you guys.
well, what about in Brazil and stuff? What?
Yeah, the ones that I don't do, I would love to watch with you guys.
Yeah.
We should.
That'd be
we
great.
were doing that for a while where we would watch. We could set it up in here too. By the way, we could podcast while we're watching the fights.
Great idea.
brilliant.
We could totally do that.
It's like you know what you're doing.
That's
We
what
could
we have
totally
to do that.
When is the next one?
Brilliant. In Brazil, where's Eric Silva?
No, when, it doesn't have to be Brazil. When is the next fight? There's probably a fight that we could podcast from this room while the fight is going on.
That'd be
That's a
dope.
great idea.
Just do it on Ustream and just let everybody know. Listen, this is not a regular podcast, okay? If you're expecting cohesive content, something to make
We're
sense,
all over.
turn this off right now. Because what we're doing is we're watching fights.
That's right.
So if you want a companion to watching the fights, we'll sync
You want
this up.
three educated opinions?
Yeah, but it'll be fun to do. Oh, shit. JDS versus Miocic. Oh, shit.
Well, no, you got
that's in
no,
May.
No, you
There's
got
a bunch of fights
Munoz. You got
before that.
Munoz, Musasi.
And what's before that? That's the one.
That Fox
Brown
Sports-
Silva, May 10th. Can we do it? Can we do it, boys?
Yes, we can do
We
it.
can do it. That's a good goddamn fight, too.
I'm here,
Travis
May 10th. It's a
Brown,
great fight.
Eric Silva. Let's do it.
Done.
Matt Brown.
Yeah. Did I say Travis Brown?
You
Matt
did.
Brown. Sorry, Matt Brown, Eric
Matt
Silva.
Brown's a beast.
And Matt Brown's coming off of, sorry, Matt Brown is coming off of back surgery, too.
Yeah,
or
he
not
is.
back surgery, excuse me, a back injury. He had a disc that herniated on him, and he had a hard time in the middle of camp. Hurt his back and
Eric
had to
Silva's
pull out.
fun to watch.
By the way, Eric Silva might be a little better looking than Big Brown. I'm going to be honest with you.
the
Fuck, guys.
Dude, I'm
Fuck,
sorry.
man.
That's just rude.
You
he's a
see me in this
dude,
tank?
You're a cute guy, but he's a cutie pie. He's got that
He's
hair in his
good-looking.
eyes almost.
I know.
Matt Brown's a fucking animal,
He's
dude.
small,
He
too.
breaks guys.
Matt Brown.
Matt
goes
Brown's
well.
pace is what sets it. Guys just can't
What's your
keep up the
call on
pace.
that fight?
There's no call. I never make a call, but he's ferocious. Brown is fucking ferocious. It's not just his pace; it's his mind. The fucking dude overcomes. He
I
just
agree.
Overcomes guys.
I don't think he's the
Breaks
most
guys'
athletic,
wills.
but it's just
Wow.
his pace and demeanor beats guys, high level guys.
You got him over,
He's intense.
Eric?
I'm like Joe. I never make picks.
Yeah,
Just
it's
kidding.
not.
I'm
It's
just
not
kidding.
good to make
It's
picks.
tough.
Doesn't
man.
make any sense.
It's tough. However, the reason why we should definitely watch fights together is, for me, it's tough to watch fights.
Mm-hmm.
It's super tough to watch. It depends. It will literally ruin a fight for me.
Oh, because I've
Why?
been with him where dudes
Bro.
will start
Oh,
asking
no.
him
well,
questions.
like
Oh,
like
yeah.
Ronda is a very close friend of mine. It's different when you watch
Right.
fighters fight, right?
Right.
I'm trying to order the pay-per-view, and the main card's about to start. My fucking cable won't work, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what am I doing? Sweating. I'm not going to go to a bar. Not a chance I'm showing up to a bar watching a UFC fight.
Right.
Because you just get harassed.
You would get mobbed.
So I'm like, what am I going to do? So I text my coach, Tony, who lives in Santa Monica. I'm like, bro, I need you to get the fights. He's like, bro, I'm over this guy's house. I know you hate watching with other people. Everyone knows this about me. Because I know you hate watching other people. No one's really here, man. Come to the basement. This guy, they probably won't know who you are. Just come. I'm like, fuck, it's the only thing I can do. I race down there. I make it just in time. There's like 2 guys there, but they're pretty drunk. And I come in with a hood. They can't really tell. So I just sit down. All of a sudden, these dudes are starting to pack in. You've heard this story, Brian. These guys are packing in, right? And I'm like, dang. I just get uncomfortable because I'm like, man, they're going to start asking me questions, blah, blah, blah. So finally, one of the guys, he was probably 50 years old, high as shit, which is whatever. I know you guys support that. High as shit. What? Cheeto fingers.
What the fuck?
Cheeto fingers. Grateful Dead t-shirt, right? I want to give him motivational talk. But he looks over at me and just goes, oh, shit. Brendan Schaub. I'm like, what's up, man? He goes, oh, man, blah. And then so from there, I'm taking pictures of guys watching the fight. It's my nightmare, right? I'm like, oh, no. And this is why it's my nightmare. During the middle of the fight, one of the guys goes, hey, bro, do you know Max Holloway? No, not Max Holloway. He's some random name. Do you know Max Billy? I go, how would I know him? He goes, he wrestled me in high school, man. Yeah? How would I know a guy who wrestled with you in high school? He goes, all you wrestlers, man, all you wrestlers stick together, bro. And that's the kind of shit I'm dealing with during fights.
Oh, no.
And then, this is the best part. Then Ronda's walking out. One guy, they have no idea, right? Ronda and I are close. He goes, bro, stands up. Would you fuck her? Would you fuck her? One guy goes, hell no, man. Way too big. One guy goes, oh, hell yeah. I would tap that, man. I'd let her armbar me. And I'm literally sitting there like, oh, no.
Brendan ends up locking the door and slapping everybody with an open hand.
I
now
wish.
It's time for spanking.
Literally, as soon as it was the Sarah McMahon fight, she knees the girl and gets out of there. I literally bolt out the door. Well, see ya. Thanks for the fights, and dart out the door.
So long, got Mr. Warner.
It's tough, man. It's tough to watch fights.
Yeah, you don't want to watch anything that you care about with morons.
No,
because they're going to talk over it, and they're going to.
All they do is talk the whole fight, bro. So what are you thinking here? You get nervous before a fight? Does it hurt?
No,
does it hurt?
No.
I have guys. Does it hurt when you get punched in the face? Does it hurt when you get punched in the face?
Listen, if I'm home, we'll do them right here, man. It's perfect. We have 2 TVs here, another TV out there. We're good.
That's exciting.
We could.
I usually prefer to watch them by myself in the dark.
Oh, I watch them
jacking off with my tears.
I watch them almost always.
Jacking off with my tears because I'm not fighting. Just
it could be me.
Crying on my dick.
Or I'll watch him with Brian, and he'll be like, "Bro, my friend, my expert, bro, expert." That's what Brian does. My friend's an expert. Oh, really? He's picking the 6-1 favorite to win? Oh, wow. Genius.
He's good, though.
Do you have friends?
He's not.
Oh, yes,
Do you have friends that are experts, Brian?
Well, our buddy, he's both our friends, actually. He's a good fighter. He's a tough guy.
What's Brennan?
What?
Brennan just shook his head.
Well, I mean, he knows what he's talking about, though. He wrestled with and fought.
There's a lot of ums going on there. I don't feel confident in your statements.
Brian throws the
He's
word.
pretty uncanny with his picks,
Brian throws
dude.
the word "fight" around a lot.
He's pretty uncanny
How
with
good?
his picks.
How good do you think he is?
Well, I mean, as
He
far
picks
as
John Jones to win. Has to be good.
He won the nationals in jiu-jitsu. He trained with
No.
Jean-Jacques Machado.
That's not what we asked, silly. We asked how good are his picks.
Oh, almost 100%.
Almost 100%.
I disagree 100% because he's a wrestler, so he supports Sarah McMahon. And Brian goes, "Schaub, what do you think of Sarah McMahon versus Ronda Rousey?" And I go, "Sarah McMahon, very talented fighter. It will be the easiest fight in her career, I guarantee you."
Yeah, that's true.
Because I see Ronda's training. I know Sarah McMahon. I see her, right? I see what she's done. I'm telling you, it's going to be her easiest fight. And he argues, it's going to be the hardest fight of her career, whatever. Easiest fight of Ronda's career, so that's whatever.
That may be so.
However, let's talk about this with Ronda, though. The reason why these girls are fucked when they fight Ronda, because it's the same thing as the Mike Tyson effect. These girls go from fighting on Facebook prelims, they win one fight, and they go, "Hey, great job. Ronda doesn't have anyone to fight. Here you go, main event, prime time."
Hey, whose phone is going off?
Not mine.
What is that?
Is that clock?
What in the world?
Somebody
Some alarm on.
Why is there an alarm on it? Give me that stupid thing.
Regardless, his picks are way better than
That's
both
weird.
of ours.
Not better
But
than
it's
mine.
how
Fair.
random.
I'll do the
It's
math
7
for
to
you.
Not a
6.
chance. That's weird.
It's 7 to 6.
That's a weird
That was a sign.
alarm.
That was a sign.
7 to
Is
6,
a bomb
ladies and
about to
gentlemen.
go off?
I don't even know how to set it. Anyway.
You definitely got
that's
that
scary.
from
That's
Target.
scary.
Yeah, I could never watch fights with morons. I've done it before. It's brutal. They ask too many questions, and they're disrespectful, too. He's a bitch. He's scared. He's a bitch. Like, oh.
Oh,
Please
yeah,
stop.
at that same party, the guy goes, bro, armbar all day. All day.
Oh,
bro, they're on their
no.
feet.
Oh,
They're against the cage clinch. There's no fucking armbar. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. You're in the wrong place. Yeah, you should have just left. I would have left for sure.
You know, I had to
I
see
would
the
have grabbed
fight,
my
though.
friend and fucking cock-slapped him, too.
I know. Well, he didn't know either, though. He didn't know either.
So
It is
what?
the worst.
So what?
It is the worst.
But he's inviting idiots over his house. How should he not know who's coming to his house?
that guy wasn't my friend. And,
Oh.
and I roasted him on the Fire and the Kid that next morning, and they all heard it. And then the next day I go to the gym, and they're just regular students there. I go to the gym, I can tell them, like, son of a bitch. But I want to be like, yo, Cheeto Fingers, come here. Cheeto Fingers, come here. Let me talk to you. I'm going to give him a pep talk. You're 50. Put down the Cheetos, ditch the shirt, let's go for a jog.
Wow, how rude. But necessary.
Cheeto.
Sometimes
Someone's-
necessary,
Sometimes
man.
necessary. Some dudes need to be heard.
I think so.
They need to hear that shit. They don't want to, but they need it.
But,
Nah,
but,
man.
but most people are.
You want a
surround
pep
themselves
talk
with
from a
people that tell
lion
them the
and your
truth.
gazelle? I'm giving it for free, man.
Wow.
When you fight John Jones, when you fight these certain guys, you get one shot at them and it's live with millions of people watching because you cannot duplicate it in the gym. You get one real life shot.
Right.
That's why people have so many problems with these guys. John Jones, listen, there's no one in your gym the size of John Jones doing these weird kicks and throwing these weird angles and doing these shoulder locks against the cage. You get one real life go at it, and by the time you figure out, it's too late.
Yeah, he's so creative.
That's why these
too.
guys are so damn good. Mike Tyson, too. You're telling me he was training with a guy as quick as Tyson?
I've seen
Not a
Tyson
chance.
do that arm wrench they did on Glover. I've seen Tyson do that. Tyson did that
Take it
to
easy.
Evander
Take it easy.
Holyfield.
Check
Yeah,
yourself.
fighters
Remember
have done
that?
that. Fighters,
Yep.
a lot of boxers
They'll do
have
it
done
a
that.
little bit,
They just
yeah.
haven't done it the way John did it.
No,
because
not
John
to that
did it in a
extent.
legal way. He
Yeah.
clamped his hands together and did it. I mean,
Okay.
he
He's also
put some
taller, so
leverage
he's
in
able
it.
to- yeah.
Oh, John's a fucking beast wrestler, man. He's got really good grappling. The way he manhandles guys inside the clinch, the way he takes guys down, he's a beast wrestler.
Strong.
I think that
Too.
Alexander Gustafsson fight was the best thing ever to happen to John. John was like, all right, I need to pick it up here, and he has.
What do you mean by
Definitely
that,
good for
though?
that fight.
I think when you're going through fights like he was, these title shots where he wasn't really getting tested and he was destroying guys.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to believe your own hype. Believe me, I was 4-0, knocked out Mirko Krokop, and I thought I was freaking God's gift to the UFC. And I was like, all right. I was still training my ass off. I literally didn't think I could lose. I was like, whatever. Just keep doing my thing. Just going to keep knocking everybody out. It's whatever. I feel like John might have slid into that a little bit where you're like, bro, this is dope. I'm just destroying everyone. And then you get a guy like Alexander who's just as big, just as long. I think John was like, I need to step my game up here. And he just absolutely dismantled Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Maybe. It could be also a stylistic thing, too. Gustafsson has
That's
really
part
good,
of it.
clean striking.
That's part of it. For sure, that's
Look at
part of
this.
it.
He said John Jones didn't perform like he used to at 172. Man, I couldn't agree with that.
Well,
anymore.
Alexander's just trying to stay right. He's trying to hype this fight. Like
Fight,
we
he gets
said,
the
you
next
got to
fight
do it.
anyway. He gets the next fight.
For sure. But he's been talking all sorts of smack.
Yeah. Well, of course.
He's saying John Jones doesn't want to fight me. John Jones scared of me. What else are you gonna do? What I mean,
Well, he's got to say all that.
You have
I mean,
to.
That's how you hype things up.
what are you gonna do?
It's an interesting fight, man. I'll tell you that. After the first fight, it's an interesting fight. I think you're going to see a way better John Jones in this fight, but I think you're going to see a better Gustafsson too.
I think it won't be as close as the last.
Why?
I think one of them. I don't think it's gonna be as close. I think
I
one
see.
of them's gonna pull away. I'm not gonna make a pick, but I think one's gonna pull away.
Man, I don't know. It could be. You never know.
I'll tell you what. Fabricio Verdum's a tougher matchup for Cain than Travis Brown. It's all about matchups. I think Fabricio poses a lot of threats to Cain.
Yeah.
You don't
His
realize
jiu-jitsu's
how big
very
Fabricio is.
Yeah, he's big.
He's big. Travis Brown wasn't that much bigger than him. Not that much taller.
No, Fabricio was light for that fight too. He's losing weight. He got down to 230.
That's what people. That's what guys are doing. Look at Travis Brown came in at what 230.
Why are they doing that? That's
Cardio.
Cardio. Cain, like it's a copycat league. So
Cain's got
Cain's
ridiculous
destroying cats, and then everyone's like, "Oh, that's cool. I'm 260 pounds. I can't make it that long. I can't keep that pace." All of a sudden, everyone's getting lighter.
Cain's cardio is very unusual physically too. He's got very unusual cardio just from genetics. I mean,
He's
incredible,
gifted, yes.
incredible
He's not your
cardio.
most explosive athlete.
Right.
But as far as stamina goes, he's a 10 out of 10.
He puts his head in your chest and just
He's
bangs
just so
away.
good. He's just such a good fucking athlete. I mean, his stamina is incredible. And his technique, everything he throws, he doesn't have any wasted motion. You never see him, like, biting his teeth down, throwing wild haymakers. Everything is thrown with,
Boxing's good.
perfect technique. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, Brennan, what do you think of his boxing? Or what's the most impressive part of his game besides his cardio for you?
See, for me, obviously his boxing, his wrestling's amazing, stuff like that. What's amazing to me is he never lets the moment get to him. I was talking about this, Brian was asking about the Andrei Arlovski fight, and I said this, and now that I'm getting a little more experience, this would be my 10th or 11th fight in the UFC, which is a lot. And it's not letting the moment get to you. You don't let the moment get so big where you get freaked out. And that happened to me in Brazil. When I fought Nogueira, it's the first time ever I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Freaked out. Went in there throwing these crazy uppercuts. I don't even throw uppercuts. I was throwing leg kicks. That's not my thing. I'm throwing leg kicks, uppercuts. Literally, I watched that film like, who the fuck is that guy? The moment got to me where I was like, dang, this is a big moment. I beat this guy. I'm probably going to fight Brock Lesnar next. That's what I was told. Probably going to fight Brock Lesnar next. So I'm thinking of all these crazy situations. That's letting the moment get to you. So with Andrei Arlovski, and you asked what's so impressive about Cain Velasquez, dude, never have you seen that guy freak out. Never have you seen him like, oh, what am I going to do? And start fighting on like himself. He sticks to a game plan, and mentally, he's just so solid. That's the difference.
Right.
Like he said against Junior Dos Santos this last fight, in the third round, he goes, man, I was tired. I was exhausted. But I knew if I kept pushing, he couldn't match this pace. Well, that's a championship mindset.
Yeah.
A lot of guys could be like, I'm going to coast it out here. He didn't.
I like what Winklejohn said to John Jones. Go out there and have fun.
Yeah. They kept saying that.
That's
Have
what
fun.
it's about.
They kept saying
Just
that
have
in his
fun.
corner.
Stay loose.
Just have fun. Well, he's at his best when he's creative.
Yeah.
And, and he knows he's putting on a show. And when he's putting on a show with a guy like Glover, part of the way to put on a show is do shit that nobody saw coming.
When he
Like
put
what
his hands
did.
down, Roy
Yeah.
Jones style, what?
How about when he got up against the cage? He just was rolling with every shot that
That was
Glover was
crazy, 'cause
throwing
Glover
and
can
just
punch.
blasted him with elbows and punches as well. I mean, it was just stellar performance. Just picked him apart and just showed that he's still getting better too. Like that was the best he's ever looked. He's
Yeah.
getting better.
I agree.
Plus he was throwing shit like wheel kicks and stuff that you never saw coming. Like Jesus Christ, his spinning back kick is outstanding now.
Crazy.
He's got a really good spinning back kick
Yeah,
now.
he does.
Damn. So many really, really high level matchups these days, and so many fighters getting better every time you see them. It's just
You have to.
Yeah,
you
you
have
have
to.
to.
You have no choice. So that this goes back to that. So if you're not passionate about the sport, especially mixed martial arts, but in life in general, if you're not passionate, someone is. You know what I'm saying? So you cannot keep up, especially in pro sports.
What did you think
Get
about?
the fuck out of here.
What did you think about Edson Barboza, Donald Cerrone? What did you think about that? That was crazy.
So, yeah,
huh?
Cowboy's my boy, right? And I always tell Brian this. When Cowboy walks out from the tunnel, I can usually tell if he's going to win or not. If Cowboy is mentally ready, he's the best 155 in the world. To me, I'll say I'm a little biased. I think he's one of the very best in the world. When Donald lets the moment get to him, Donald doesn't fight like Donald. The Dos Anjos fight, that's not Donald. When he fought Anthony Pettis, that's not Donald. You can just tell he doesn't want to be in there. This fight, I couldn't really tell. I was on the fence, and then when he came out, I was like, oh no, he's getting his ass whooped. And then this huge jab drops Barboza,
Yeah.
and then he ended up taking his back.
Yeah, he took some bombs before that.
Took some bombs. He was getting picked apart.
He caught some crazy hooks. He caught
Hooks,
right and left hooks.
kicks.
Yeah.
You could tell Barboza had a speed advantage, was mixing it up. I was like, oh no, Cowboy, this isn't good. And then dropped him, then got his back, jumped on him like a spider monkey,
Yeah.
got his
Yeah.
back, choked him out, then everything's all good. But now you got Khabib
Nurmagomedov.
Khabib calling
He's a
him out.
rough. He's a rough.
Rough?
Khabib is like a rough. Where's he from, Siberia?
They posted this fool wrestling a grizzly bear at 6. Rough?
Yeah.
What the fuck you gonna do?
I know.
While I was playing grab ass with the girls in the playground, this fool's wrestling bears.
No doubt.
How can he compete?
With that head.
thank
he's got that
God
jaw.
he's at 155.
Yeah, he's
What the
so-
fuck are we gonna do?
He's so aggressive, that fucking guy,
Oh.
too. His grappling is so
Monster,
ridiculous.
man. He beat he made Dos Anjos look like they were in the same league.
Yeah, it's
Dos
hard to
Anjos
imagine.
is a badass,
Yeah,
man.
he is. Yeah, the kid's got ridiculous grappling. Some of the best grappling I've ever seen inside the octagon.
Really?
Just so aggressive with his takedowns. aggressive and changes things up, changes angles, and then gives you like a difference in gears. You know, like he switches gears on you,
Right.
Speeds up his approach, slows it down, drops down when you think he's going to stand up. He just
mixes it up.
He
He
mixes
trains at
it up.
AKA.
Yeah.
I asked DC, I asked Cormier, we do a show together, UFC Now, and I asked him, we were doing some breakdown stuff on Khabib, and I go, is he that good? And he goes, he is, man. Because you really haven't seen anything yet. In the gym, he's just a monster.
Yeah. Sambo is a great background, man. It's one of the best backgrounds ever for UFC.
I agree.
Because it's high-level grappling. There's a lot of really tough Russian guys you're competing against. Yeah, you're competing with fucking animals. Yeah. And these guys are really good at
Well, I think
transitioning.
Fedor started as a Sambo guy, didn't he?
Yeah, he was combat Sambo world champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's kind of the face of it.
Remember
Look at that.
That's not real.
No, there's an actual video of him as a kid rolling around with a fucking grizzly bear, and the grizzly bear's like defending rear naked chokes and shit. This grizzly bear's like a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know where they found this bear. It's legit.
I was at
though.
the San Diego Zoo and I was watching mountain gorillas wrestle. The little mountain gorillas, like the adolescents and the babies. They have great technique. They're just natural wrestlers.
Here he is.
Grand
Here it
rolls
is.
and everything.
Oh, really, Brian? While you were dancing your ass off,
Look
this
at
guy's
that.
wrestling with a bear. Look at the bear, double leg. What?
That bear is an
Wait a minute.
Asiatic-
That's not him, is it? Is this the right video?
That's what YouTube says.
I think so, man. That's the one the UFC posted.
That's so
and then
ridiculous.
Khabib confirmed it that it was him.
Look at that. He's a little kid.
Little
He's
kid.
wrestling with a goddamn bear. That's insane.
Right?
That's so cool. What kind of bear
I called
is
and
that?
yelled at my dad. What
a
the
small
fuck
bear.
was my bear?
Crescent
It's
bear.
a baby bear.
Still though.
Yeah, it's still for sure.
You
I
kidding
wouldn't
me?
fuck with that bear. Look, and that bear's aggressive as shit too.
Strong animal.
That bear's like a dick in the wrestling
How
room.
cool is that, though?
Plows you
How
right into
cool
a
would that be
tree.
as a
Just
pet?
face first.
I want that as a
Just
pet.
dick.
I want a bear badly right now.
No, you don't, because you'd ignore it and be in your backyard waiting for
I would
days
never
and days and
ignore
days for you
Hungry
to
as
come home.
shit.
And then one day someone would go into your backyard and not know that the bear likes to wrestle people and fucking take them down and then scream and
I just got
sue
back from
you
the
and-
road. Yeah,
Exactly.
Wrestle people.
You're not
No.
home enough to have a bear that wrestles
I'm
people.
not. I'm not home enough to have a bear that wrestles people, and I want one so badly right now.
You're not home enough, dude. It's not fair.
No chimps, no bears. Definitely no
not fair.
chimps.
It's just not fair.
Cute when they're little.
Who's Johnny Hendricks going to fight against next?
Johnny Hendricks
He
will
should fight
fight the winner of
Hector Lombard.
Woodley. No, Hector Lombard. No, Woodley
And Roy McDonald.
And Roy McDonald fighting
Yeah.
June 14th on UFC 174. with
And
Brendan
that's in
Schaub.
Vancouver.
That's in
We're
Vancouver.
going to be there for that, Brian Callen.
Yeah, I can't wait.
The winner of that will get the next title fight, I think.
Tyron Woodley is about as big as you can get and be 170.
so weird.
He's giant.
He's a beast.
He's a fucking strong kid too, man.
But that-
Fast as shit too. Woo.
But then you
Rory's
also got
very
Jake
clever.
Ellenberger versus your boy Robbie Lawler. That's a tough one too.
Just there's so many
yeah.
killers. Like you start thinking about how
170,
competitive this is.
like I
So
said,
many
170, 155. You better have all your bases covered. You
Yep.
got to be a black belt
and
at
be
everything.
a hell of an athlete on top of it.
And you better
That's
be able
on
to
the
sell the fight.
Barao TJ Dillashaw fight, right? Isn't that the same card? Where Jake Ellenberger takes on Robbie Lawler? What is this?
The 174.
That's
card.
174.
Oh yeah, see TJ Dillashaw and Robbie Lawler, or yeah, they're on the same
Arlovski
card.
can't get a picture up there.
Look at
Huh?
that. And how about Mighty Mouse, man? He might be the best pound for pound guy on the fucking planet.
He's good.
He might be the most technical pound for pound fighter on the planet. I mean, everybody always turns to the big ones, meaning Barao, Jose Aldo, and John Jones. But
No, the smaller you go, the more talented they are.
Mighty Mouse
The
Johnson
more
might be the
well-rounded
best.
they are. I agree.
He might be the best.
Really?
The way he knocked out Benavidez, who the fuck saw that coming? Who's ever done that to
At
Benavidez?
125?
Yeah.
What? You don't see too many knockouts.
Yeah.
Especially at that level.
And he takes guys down and submits them, too, in the fourth round against Moraga. I mean, they went
That's
to
right.
war with John Moraga. They went to war. He eventually, is overcoming him with technique, and then he catches him on the ground. He's ahead in the fight, and he's still finishing him with an armbar.
It's crazy.
And Moraga's fucking dangerous. Moraga caught him clean with a
That's right.
straight punch, right to the mug. And he ate it,
was in
readjusted.
Seattle.
Yep. Great fight, man.
Good fight. Really good
He's
fight.
fucking technical as shit, man. He's technical.
He's a monster.
Really technical. And just does having that guy Matt Hume as your trainer from jump.
From
that's
day
so
one.
big.
It's huge.
That guy knows so much.
Because he creates a base for you, right?
well,
Like an
he knows
MMA
so
base.
much.
Yeah.
First of all, he was a very good fighter himself. Both Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. He did MMA. Fought in, I think he fought in extreme fighting. He fought Pat Miletich. Stopped Pat Miletich with broke his nose with a knee.
Old school.
He's really good, but his knowledge. He also was a judge in Pride for a long time.
Damn.
Judged a lot of fights in Pride. You would always see Matt
He
Hume
was a
on the
very
corner.
stoic guy. The way he behaved, he just always struck me as very stoic. Like,
He's a smart dude.
yeah.
Knows a lot of shit about fighting. You hear him in the corner when he's giving advice. Some of the best advice you'll ever hear.
Really?
Yeah, very technical. Very much. You could tell that they've trained for a very specific style of game plan and how to adjust. Makes adjustments. Has A plans, B plans. Like you could tell, like the way when he's talking about DJ and when he was fighting Benavidez. That Benavidez is loading up. Like they saw it coming.
What's weird to me? Well, not weird, but what's cool is the relationship between coaches and fighters. Like a coach will know what to say to a fighter, right? Like some guys need to be hyped up. Some guys need to be hyped up where the coach is yelling, screaming at them in between rounds, doing stuff like that. They can be super negative. And then other ones are super calm, relaxed, very Greg Jackson-esque.
Yeah.
And just the difference between that's crazy. When I was on The Ultimate Fighter, I had a coach yell at me and slap me so hard, it literally rocked me before walking in the octagon. He slapped me so hard.
That's a little spazzy.
It was like, come on, let's go.
That doesn't work on a guy like you.
I was like, huh?
Who the fuck did that?
Trevor Whitman.
Did he really?
Yeah, I was like, huh?
Is he out of his fucking mind?
What are we doing? And I went to the octagon.
What if you went down?
Dude.
Well, right.
What are we doing?
That works with Clay Guida, maybe like his brother.
Some people like that.
His brother only slaps him like 20%.
Right.
He's not like really cocking him in the head. He's just slap.
Right, get him.
I mean, he's not hurting his brother.
Right.
Yeah. So, some guys like that. Like if you watch boxing, if you watch that Garcia, who's what's the name? Madonna.
Robert Garcia.
Yeah, Robert Garcia. Have you seen the way he coaches guys?
Very good coach.
Yeah, great coach. Phenomenal.
He
coach.
worked with Cain recently. He said if Cain took 3 years off, he could be heavyweight champion.
Wow, as a boxer.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said in 3 years.
That's saying a
You'd
lot.
have to get him the right fights, build him up strong. For 3 years, he'd be heavyweight champion.
That's saying a lot.
That's crazy.
The 24/7 has kind of it was at an A+. I'd give it an A- now, B+. Because All Access on Showtime, Floyd Mayweather took his business there. If you watched last night, episode 3 with Floyd Mayweather, Miss Jackson isn't in the picture anymore. And you know why? He released it today. So Miss Jackson was his main chick, right? Forever. She was on all the countdowns, whatever. This pretty girl, take him shopping, show her like in Prada, spending all this money, whoop, right? Whoop. And then she's not on there anymore. He's like, we just had our differences. She's not around anymore. So Twitter was blown up like, yo, what's wrong with Miss Jackson? I guess she was talking shit about Floyd. So Floyd is like, what? This is what happened. She was pregnant with twins and decided to have an abortion without my consent. I want to have these babies. She had an abortion without my consent. That's why we're not fucking together. And then
Jesus.
Yeah, get ready for this. Then she on Instagram, Miss Jackson, posts a picture talking shit to Floyd with her new man, Nelly, right? I'm all into this shit, by the way. I'm like TMZ in the fight world.
You love it.
So then she posts a picture with Nelly. And then Floyd's like, what? He posts a picture. Yeah, Miss Jackson looks great before I paid for all these fucking plastic surgeries. Shows the picture of her just busted, just straight up busted, like in the morning, just one eye open, just a real warlock state in the morning. Posted that picture, and then he took it down though. He took it down.
When you're having an Instagram fight, that's pretty low.
It's not necessary.
It's not good.
It's not
supposed
necessary,
to let him
dude.
go. But that's
people
fucked that
love
he
it,
put
though.
that out there that she had an abortion with his twins inside.
He
of
can't
her.
let anything go.
Well, you know what? I think he was getting so much backlash. Like, what the? Oh, you're too good. Blah blah blah. So he's like, what? Or I think she said something in an interview. So he's like, oh, really? Check this out. Bam.
That fight he had
In
with
your
his dad.
face.
His dad comes over. They start talking, and out of nowhere, they're both
Start
trying to
fighting
go
in the
at
locker
it.
room?
Like, yeah.
That's rough. That's rough.
Chicken heads. Chicken heads to get you. Floyd Mayweather don't fuck with him. He's mastered chicken head. He has a black belt in chicken heads. I'm a blue belt.
That's
I'm a
more
blue
than
belt.
a chicken head, don't you think? That's a crazy situation.
No, what?
Abortion?
Chicken head? That's a chicken head.
That's being together a long time. That's all
Wrong.
kinds of crazy jealousy.
Wrong.
Gross.
Because they were together and she was allowed to have all these side pieces. That's how you become Miss Jackson. That's how you become Miss Floyd Mayweather. She accepted that lifestyle, and then she wanted to do her own modeling thing and all this stuff. So he suspended her from the Countdown show. Because before she wasn't on there, and they asked why. He goes, you know what? She just had to prove her worth. She was getting a little too big for her britches, so I have to suspend her from the Countdown show. That'd be a chicken head.
Wow.
He has a black belt in chicken heads. Boys, you need to step your game up.
You're suspended.
It's just so fucked when you involve babies and stuff into that equation. You try to figure out like how that factored in, you know.
Yeah.
Well, at what point are you like, listen, I'm the king of chicken heads? Bitch, you're suspended from the Countdown shows. Who has that talk? Hey, listen, All Access to be here. I'm going to need you to get out. Why? You're acting like chicken head. Get the hell out of here.
Well,
That's hilarious.
managing your employees.